So, hello everyone, and welcome to the moon currency for January 23rd, 2021, where the moon moves from 28 degrees Taurus to 10 degrees Gemini. All right, so if your moon falls within that range, this is very specific to you. If you have other planetary bodies within that range, those are significant today, as well as any other planets or placements that you hold within a 28 or 10 to 10 degree range, because the moon is going to be aspecting on those, right? As always, if you don't know your chart, shoot me an email. I will make sure you have it. So, the energy today. The moon starts by leaving its conjunction with Sedna retrograde in Taurus and doesn't aspect anything at all until it transits into Gemini, conjuncting Admetos retrograde. And as it conjuncts Admetos, right, it's sextiling Vulcanus in Leo. With that said, Admetos is symbolized by the tombstone. It represents ancestral karma and ancestral cycles that never end, right? They live and die with us. This is about understanding the duality of our nature. If yesterday you took on the load of someone else, probably because they took on the load of someone else and couldn't say no and ended up with too much, which is why they were asking you if they could put some of their own shit on you so that they can get someone else's shit done for them, right? We all know how that works. This is about understanding how that repeats cycles. Nobody's learning anything, right? Maybe the person whose shit you took on, they needed to be told no so that they can go back to the person whose shit they took on and be like, listen, I know I said I could, but I really can't. And I'm sorry. I have to renege on what I promised. I shouldn't have took it on to begin with because I was banking on help, and to be completely fair, it was wrong of me to do that. Like, people need to learn to own their own energy, right? They can't be everybody's pile of crap, right? Pile of stuff. They just can't. If for whatever reason that occurred and everybody was putting their stuff on other people and nothing was said or done about it, the ripple didn't stop there. There's this feeling in the heart space that wants to blow up and can't, right? This is where the taken advantage of or taken for granted or feeling expected of starts to come into play. And it squares trans-Pluto retrograde in Virgo, which means we have steps to take to undoing this karma now. Because that pattern cannot persist. And when these things come up, we have to nip them in the bud. We have to allow other people to accept that they can also say no and not be an asshole for saying no. No one's an asshole ever for saying no. Everybody is respectfully allowed to put themselves first sometimes. Everyone. We can't run ourselves into the ground. This moon, right, after it goes through this square with trans-Pluto, who's retrograding in Virgo, we have to remember, and mind you, we have to remember what our parents would say. How would our grandparents guide us? If you were to call them on the phone and start complaining, they would ask you, well, why did you do it if you knew you couldn't? Why did you do it if you didn't want to? We have to remember that. The people who love us unconditionally in life and beyond life would always guide us in a certain way to love ourselves correctly, right? So as it moves forward in Gemini, it quincunxes Cupido before sesquaring Venus and trining the Sun and Saturn, while quincunxing Apollon, forming a Luciad, right? Cupido and Apollon are forming a Luciad at Luna. Loose meaning it's a little over 1 degree. The sextile between them is not a tight sextile. It's a little more than 1 degree. So Cupid and Apollon, our counterparts understand this probably better than anybody else. Our sacred soulmates would understand this conversation better than anybody else. And they realize that there's two sides to every coin. And just because we look okay on the surface doesn't mean we will be okay if we keep having stuff piled on us and piled on us. At some point, they can recognize that maybe people are just putting too much on you and it's not fair. All right, your counterparts can help stand up for you today. They can help understand this higher perspective. They can help you and support you in the detaching of other people, especially whatever house Taurus and Gemini rule for you, right, in your chart, because it's going to be hitting that area of your life specifically. All right. The sesquare to Venus means we have a hard time being grateful for everything when we're stressed out. We have a hard time appreciating our home when the people in or around our home are stressing us out, or our home is falling behind because we put too much on our plate with other people. Right? We're having a hard time finding gratitude for our choices. Now, mind you, other people always do appreciate it, and it feels great to know that you're appreciated. It feels great to hear the thank you. It feels great to be the relief for someone. But we also kind of sort of resent the fact that maybe we don't always have the same relief, or that we don't have the heart to ask for the relief. We don't ever want to be the one that puts our shit on other people, right? And so it starts to really put things into perspective, because sometimes you don't want to say no when you love someone. Your counterparts and your sacred soulmates are going to be of the awareness that they're not going to put more on you than you can handle. They're not going to ask. They're going to try and figure it out themselves, and they would only ask if they really needed your input, advice, a solid hand, because they can't do it by themselves. You know, it literally requires multiple people, you know, more than just them. And there's an understanding that's there today. Okay, with counterparts, there's an understanding there today. You both have the same goals. You know, Apollon is the same deep soul song. It's sextiling the relationship that you share. It's allowing the face value reality of things to kind of sink in and be like, okay, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're working with, and we're teamwork makes the dream work mode, right? Anything you're doing with divine counterparts today, just know it's teamwork makes the dream work. The healing is taking place on deep levels in order to shift and benefit how we direct our lives and make choices in regards to each other. Okay. Then we hit an opposition with White Moon and Sag, and a sextile to Chiron as it semi-sextiles Lilith retrograde, who's conjuncting Uranus and Taurus. Self-discovery in the reality is mind-blowing. We realize how we screw ourselves out of good karma and how we end up feeling like the victim, right? When our counterparts step in and say, hey, it's okay, you don't have to take all this on. Hey, it's okay, I'm here, I'll help you, right? This teamwork, whatever the healing is that our counterparts are helping us with, we realize how we destroyed a good vision by being in a victim mindset. By being in an I can't take any more mindset and not speaking up about it, not doing something about it, allowing other people in our lives to put too much on us. We're realizing that discovering ourselves in our reality in a different way is quite mind-blowing, right? We realize just how much needs to shift. It's like realizations about the self. It's having sincere realizations about the self on how we destroy our own good energy and our own blessings when we become the victim of other people's shit, when we become the victim of other people's expectations, when we become the victim of being the martyr who wants to come off like, well, I would always be there. I would always be the most perfect person for you. I always want to be this perfect person. It's like, yeah, but every time you decide you want to be perfect and don't accept the reality that nothing is exactly perfect, you can't be that perfect whatever for someone all the time. People are understanding how they destroy their own good luck and how they ruin a good thing, or they ruin a bigger vision, right? Or a long-term blessing. White Moon and Sag. It's a long-term blessing. It's the happy picture at the end of the rainbow. You know, it's the joy that we all want to experience. And when we allow ourselves to be a martyr or sacrifice ourselves to our detriment for other people or a specific other person, that we're trying to prove to or validate to or justify that maybe they have made a mistake by, especially in regards to soulmates, that they have made a mistake in letting us go. Well, we're kind of just shooting our own selves in the foot, right? This could go for exes, this can go for family members, this can go for friends, this can go for people you work with, right? Definitely look at what house your Gemini lands in. What house does Gemini rule? Because that's probably where you're putting too much energy to your detriment, right? Whatever is aspecting in there, it's too much. And so it's learning how to recognize how we lose a good thing by trying to keep something that's not energetically fulfilling. It's draining, right? So, big realizations as far as self-discovery. Don't be surprised if someone feels like a victim of you and what you are putting on them, or vice versa. That someone realizes they are a victim, right? That you're a victim because they put too much on you. They put you in a victim role where you were hurt because they were putting too much on you because they were taking on too much from someone else. This is the realization. This is the kind of shake or snap out of it that some people truly need. Like, you are putting way too much energy and way too much focus and way too much effort into something that is not actually filling you up or benefiting you or doing you the same fucking favors back, right? Like, you're doing all this for someone else, but if you needed favors like that, would they step up for you? Would they do the same for you? Would they consider you? Would they run themselves into the ground for you? Because if you're going to run yourself into the ground for someone, it's because you know dang right well if you needed them to, they would run themselves in the ground for you. If they wouldn't do that, then you're investing too much energy in the wrong people, right? This is where the moon ends up sesquaring Zeus retrograde in Libra, while semi-squaring Eris and semi-sextiling Mars as it's trining into Jupiter and semi-sextiling Hades. People understand how they're making fucked up choices that are imbalanced. It's hard for them to accept it. It's challenging for them to accept it. But damn it, if they don't realize it, they cannot ignore it. They cannot ignore the fact that making misaligned actions hurts them. It causes strife and discord. It challenges them to correct it and to get passionate about the right things and becoming more stable and solid about the things that they actually care about. The mentality they actually want to have. It opens up, trying to Jupiter in Aquarius, it opens up the bigger picture, the abundance of the bigger picture, right? In the long term, it shifts things in the long term. It's like a beautiful seed that's planted about loving yourself and transforming how you love yourself. Semi-sextile to Hades retro in Cancer. It is okay to transform. Who you were before that would drop everything on a dime for someone, realizing that they wouldn't do the same for you, even if you would like to believe that they would, you know in your heart to hearts if they would or not. This is about understanding that you can transform how to love yourself so that you're not becoming a martyr, that you're not becoming the victim of your own choices by being someone's dumping ground for their piss poor energy, right? Or their lack of priority, or that they don't have control over their own lives. They're so out of control that they're pulling on everybody else's energy to fix it instead of just fucking fixing their own energy, right? They got to stop being the drain. They have to start making the self-improvements. It's okay to shift, right, away from these energies, because by the end of the day, the moon is sesquaring Pluto and it's opposing Juno, which means if you can't let go of that soul scar and you continue to drive yourself into the ground for people who would not do that for you, you are absolutely opposing the vision you hold most loyal to your soul. Juno, the shadow of it is self-betrayal. Betraying the self, becoming vindictive to the point that if you were to continue in this energy further, or someone were to continue in this energy further, they're going to get angry. They're going to get vengeful. They're going to get spiteful. They're going to go out of their way to hurt you after going out of their way to help you. Or you would be going out of your way to hurt them back because you were going out of your way to make their life so much easier for so long, and it was never reciprocated. But you knew it was never reciprocated from the beginning. So when we're projecting anger at other people, why? In the divine mirror, it's because we're angry at ourselves. Why are we angry at ourselves? Because we didn't stand up for our self-love. We didn't stand up for our self-nurturance. We didn't know how to say no. Come on. Right? So, duality. What side of the coin are you falling on? Face value, facts, reality. It's not your problem if someone is out of control in their life. That's their problem. Your only problem is whether or not you're in control in your life. Because that is what reflects in your reality. Just like their out of control state reflects in their reality. They no longer have control or benefit from the people that were there. They were giving all of their energy to the wrong people. Putting all their time, focus, and emphasis on the wrong energy. Right? That's their lesson that they need to resolve. Don't pick up the cross of someone else and say, it's okay, I'll carry your cross for you. No. And Gemini, mind you, is blunt. They will say it like it is without hesitation. So do not be afraid to focus in on that energy. Right? Because the moon is a specific aspect of the sun sign that's being focused on. Don't be afraid to say it like it is. Don't be afraid to call people out. Well, you know what? If you weren't putting so much focus on this person, making sure that they remember you're this and you're that and you're their savior and you're their rock and you're the most dependable. If you weren't so focused on putting all of your energy in that person's basket, trying to prove whatever, you wouldn't be having this conversation with me telling you the way it is, right? You can't shit on me because someone else is shitting on you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's rude. Rude. Still love you. Can't help you though. Not unless you're willing to help yourself. Can't be there for you. Sorry, not unless you're willing to be there for yourself. Pick what side of the coin you fall on. Do you want to be the person being shit on? Do you want to be the one that's being resentful? Do you want to be the one that's going to be vindictive and angry later? Or do you want to put a pin in it? Call it like you see it. Gemini, call it like you see it. Be real. Be real. The ripple starts with you. It will end the drama real fast, faster than you might realize. Because like I said, there's no reason to blow up and be angry. There's no actual reason to blow up and be angry. You can nip the ancestral karma in the butt. Like, nope, not repeating these cycles. Nope, I'm no martyr. Nope, I'm no garbage dump. Nope. I love myself. I'm in control of my energy. I can call a spade a spade. I got no problem with that. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to let you lie to yourself either. Why? Because I actually care about you and I love you. Right? Be super grateful for your divine counterparts today. They will be your rock. Right? Divine counterparts will be each other's rocks one way or another. They will understand how important it is to face the reality. It's a blessing. It's the greatest blessing of the day. So enjoy that. All right? Until next time, guys. Until tomorrow. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Bye.